What's going on, guys? I'm gonna be breaking down UFC Mexico today. Quick little recap from last weekend's card. Cashed pretty big on Ilia Topuria by knockout. In total, we had about $1,500 pre-fight on the knockout, and then got another $750 on him live money line. Started around two at Pick'em. So yeah, in total, cashed just under $8,000 on the main event. Sad to see Volk, get put out cold, but like I said, had a lot of concerns about the durability, and there was some value on the knockout prop. So, yeah, big cash there. But a couple other spots too. We cashed on De Lima, cashed on Lemos. Almost had that Lemos knockout at plus 290, but profitable fight there. Next one we hit Barlow as well, and Barlow knockout. And then I did end up playing Jeff Neal. Don't hate the bet. I mean, there will be a time to fade Ian Gary. I mean, but unfortunately, he fought clean. He had good footwork, and he did what he needed to do. So good job by Gary there. But yeah, overall, guys, the last three cards were sitting at around about $17,000 in profit. So let's keep that rolling into this card. First fight up is Naimov versus Eric Silva. I played Naimov here at minus 295 early in the week. I wouldn't touch a minus 600 Naimov, regardless of who he's fighting. I don't really think, I mean, the market knows, everything we need to know about Eric Silva now. The guy is like 37, hasn't fought in over a year, and his one fight in the UFC against TJ Brown, he gassed out like immediately, got ran through, and TJ Brown submitted him, I want to say, like start round two. I don't really rate Silva as like a fighter. I don't really see many paths here outside of like a first round like guillotine maybe, but I think Naimov has him covered pretty much everywhere. He's going to have a pretty big physicality advantage. And yeah, I don't know how he gets it done. I don't know if it's a late knockout or a late submission, but I do think Naimov gets it done inside the distance. Like I said, wouldn't touch this minus 600 line, but I played, was it Monday or Sunday? Parlayed up Naimov and Brandon Moreno to win one unit. So yeah, pretty confident spot. Wouldn't touch a current number. All right, guys. Next fight up is Felipe Dos Santos versus Victor Altamirano. Yeah, so I want to say this, guys. Like, I completely understand that minus 300 for Felipe Dos Santos is wide. He can definitely be controlled off his back. He can be hit. He's not defensively sound. Young, makes mistakes in there, but I don't know. I'm not playing the money line, but I do like Felipe here. I don't really think highly of Victor Altamirano, and I know he has a few UFC wins, but I don't. Salvador could be the worst flyweight in the division, and then we have wins over Daniel Da Silva, who's on this card, but who actually rocked. He dropped Altamirano early in round one before he ended up quitting in that fight. I mean, look, Victor Altamirano, he's not like a bad fighter per se, but not a great overall athlete. I don't really rate his wrestling. I mean, I know he does have upside for like some top time control here, but on the feet, I think there is a pretty large power discrepancy. I know like Felipe isn't the biggest knockout artist, but he's 22, and he appears to be on the juice now too. Like against Manel Cop, definitely major increase in like physicality and just like overall, he looked like a much different fighter than he did on the regional tape. But if you're competitive with Cop on the feet, and I know he got dropped like 2 times in that fight, almost got put out, but he hurt Cop a few times as well. I also like too with like Felipe, he does have some like crazy volume, along with spinning elbows, crane kicks, switch kicks, fucking spinning wheel kicks. He likes his flying knees, and then one thing I really like too. So Altamirano, like late in fights, he shoots these like half-ass takedowns. He did a ton against Salvador. I think he shot like 20 takedowns in total, but they're not like real attempts. He kind of just like fakes and kind of just puts his head kind of down towards the leg. Doesn't really grab at anything. Uh, I think he can get his knee head off there, and then on top of that, like I said, there's gonna be a decent power discrepancy. Felipe has good hands. I'm playing Felipe knockout here. I saw the line was at plus 554 on Bet Rivers. So try to set up an account, wouldn't let me. So I ended up driving over today to get a slip in. Couldn't get the plus 545 number, but we locked in Felipe dos Santos by knockout plus 475 to win 2,300 total payout. So like I said, I wouldn't touch the money line here, but at plus 500, you're talking about like, what is it, like 14% implied probability. And his ITD prop is plus 185. I don't know. Like, all the finishing upside here is Dos Santos. He clearly has some hands. Like, he showed it in the Kopp fight. He hurt him multiple times. And Manel Kopp's a top 5, top 3 possible flyweight, if we're being honest. So yeah, and like Victor Altamirano too. Like, I get that he has decent striking statistics, but like I said, who's he fought? I think Felipe is going to be the much better overall striker here. Just a more complete game, more variety overall in the feet. And yeah, I think Felipe gets a late knockout here. I'm going round 3 as well at plus 1,700. But yeah, guys, we're going 0.8 units. Felipe dos Santos knockout at plus 475. This number is at plus 400 right now, best available. I still think that's playable. Pretty confident spot here on Felipe. Next fight up is going to be Fares Ziam versus Claudio Puelles. I faded Claudio Puelles in his last 2 fights. We lost some money on Clay Guida, but we made it back and more on Dan Hooker. He was about minus 145 over Claudio Puelles. I don't know. I don't really think much of Claudio's game. He's pretty much like submission round 1, maybe early round 2 or bust. And his cardio has looked worse over the years. So I don't really think much of him. And as long as you fight smart, he's a very beatable guy. He's not a minute winner. Like, Ziam has upside here to look, if he can just fight smart and not get ankle locked, like, he'll look minus 400 or 500 here in the feet. Really hope he puts in some like early body work too, like Puelles at altitude, and if he's just eating strikes in the feet. This guy's a quitter. Like, he was like flopping to his back in that Hooker fight. Like, really don't think of Claudio. Like I said, if Ziam can just play it safe round 1, I think he gets a late finish here. I'm going to be looking at that FanDuel round 2, round 3 knockout prop if it's a good number. But yeah, pretty confident spot. We parlayed up Ziam moneyline at minus 193 with Daniel Zellhuber to win 1 unit. So next fight up, guys, is Manuel Torres versus Chris Duncan. I played Manuel Torres on Sunday at minus 116, 1.74 units to win 1.5. This line got steamed, and I think at this point, like, minus 200 Torres is, you can't touch it. There's still just so many unknowns on what happens like after round 1. I've tried to find the tape on his fight that did go to decision like years ago, and I just can't find it. So really don't know what his cardio looks like. Really don't know what his defensive grappling looks like if it's really tested. So there's definitely concerns on Manuel Torres, but Chris Duncan doesn't have a chin. He's slow. He's hittable. He's not a great athlete. He has wrestling upside here, and like, I'm sure that's the game plan. Like, I'm sure Duncan's going to come out and try to get some early takedowns, but if he doesn't, like, there's just been so many bad looks for Chris Duncan. Like, I like Vyacheslav Borishev, like, he's a skilled kickboxer, but just like every other punch, man, like, Duncan's getting hurt. He ended up getting put out with a counter left hook in that fight, like, out cold. And then his other Contender Series fight was against Charlie Campbell. The UFC stats scored no knockdowns for Campbell. You could argue maybe 3, He had him hurt multiple times. At one point, he landed like one was a straight left from southpaw, and then he also landed this like 3 uppercuts in a row, and like Duncan looks like Phil Hawes with like the fucking his legs start going a little bit, and you can tell he's just about to go out, and it just keeps happening in his fights. I mean, it almost happened in Omar Rao's fight. He almost got put out, and then Ash Moose broke his arm like round one, and Duncan still, he won, but wasn't impressive. Long story short, guys, like I think the upside for Torres knockout early is pretty high. They're pricing it at plus 250. I mean, Duncan, like I said, he's not durable, and Torres probably throws like 30, 40 hooks here, some crazy like fucking elbow. He's not technical. He's not defensively sound. Probably does not have a good gas tank, but in Mexico, I think they're giving him a favorable matchup here to get a big knockout right before the main card. So yeah, I like Torres, and there'll be a fade spot in the future. But yeah, like I said, 1.72 units to win 1.5 on Manuel Torres. All right, guys, next fight up. I have no action on this Raul Rosas and Ricky Tercios fight. I know it's a popular debate of this week. Rosas is going to get takedowns. Like, he's going to get them. It's just a matter of, like, can Tercios scramble out and get to good positions himself? Because Rosas has shown that if you can wrestle him, like, he's not great in some of these positions. I don't know if Tercios is the guy. I played C-Rod there at like plus 200, a similar price. And I don't know, C-Rod's a much better, much more physical, just like well-rounded fighter than like Tercios. I think it's a stay away. If it goes to full like 15, I think there is equity in a Tercios decision. I don't really give him much finishing equity. But I don't know. Early on, it's going to come down to back takes. Maybe Rosas gets it, maybe he doesn't. If he does, I think he can submit him round one. If it gets extended, he probably gasses and could be value on Tercios. Not a fight I'm really interested in playing. Next fight up is Daniel Zellhuber and Francisco Prado. Really don't have that many like thoughts here. I hate watching tape on Prado. I don't know. Like he can land a big shot and win a fight. But if he doesn't, he's not a minute winner. He's low volume. He can't really land. He's hitting like a 30% clip at like range. Zellhuber has all the tools if he can just be defensively sound, which I know is a lot to ask sometimes from Zellhuber, and avoid the big shot. I don't know. I think Zellhuber can just get a dominant performance here on the feet. I do think there is a small bit of submission equity for Zellhuber as well, but I'm not right. This is a don't overthink it spot. If you're playing Prado, play him by knockout and probably play the knockout early. As this extends, I could see it as an attritional knockout as well. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in Zellhuber. Like I mentioned, he's in my parlay with Fares Ziam. All right, finally, guys, we got the main event. We've seen this fight before. It's Moreno versus Royval 2. I know I'm skipping over the Yair and Ortega fight. I think the line's accurate, and there's too many unknowns on the Ortega side for me to back him here. So I'm just passing on the fight. Maybe we'll take a stab live, but right now I'm just not really interested. So on to the main event, Moreno versus Royval. Yeah, I play Brandon Moreno, like I mentioned. He's in the parlay with Naimov to win a unit. I just think that Moreno has him pretty much covered. He's going to be the more technical striker. He has better durability, better cardio, better wrestling. I mean, look, like Royval's good. He's a fun fighter. He's going out there reckless, throwing a ton of volume, trying to put you out. But Moreno, yeah, he's been dropped a couple of times by Devison Figueiredo, but I don't think the power is comparable. And Moreno, he gets back and he keeps pushing through, like regardless if he gets hurt or not. I don't know. I think it was clear in the Pantoja fight that Royval has not improved his takedown defense at all. The guy is very easy to take down, and then he's willing, to throw some strikes, try to, get something from guard. Like, he can be held on his back. So if Moreno, I think he can win this on the feet, but it will be close. But if there's ever any times where, Royval's really pushing him, like, he can just shoot and get him down. So this is another one, man. I think it's a don't overthink it. I like Royval as a fighter. He's fun, but his style doesn't work against the highest level guys in this division. And if Pantoja, was able to control you and wear on you with, without the best gas tank, I think Moreno is going to do fine here at elevation. Yeah, I like Moreno here. Like I said, I parlayed him up with Naimov. Quick little summary of my bets so far. So we got the Felipe dos Santos by knockout plus 475. Felipe dos Santos knockout plus 1700. Got the Ferris Ziam and Daniel Zellhuber parlay to win 1 unit. Then we got the Brandon Moreno and Naimov parlay to win 1 unit. And then our last bet was at Manuel Torres money line. I'm sure I'll have some more props by Saturday. I'm still finishing up tape. May have a play on Bondar, but that's it for this video, guys. Let's make some money.